Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Sidebar Conversations with Crystal D. I'm your host tonight, Crystal Dominique. Thanks so much for joining. And we are talking high level stuff here. We've got a few topics, and we'll get to them in a second. But I do want to bring in my super producer. Super producer, where you at?
I'm
Yeah,
here. I'm here.
I was feeling a little lonely.
No, don't be lonely. It's
This
all good.
this is new for me. All right, so I'm a do a sidebar. Sidebar.
Uh-huh. Sidebar.
Like I've been working in media for a little bit, more so like public relations, communications, and radio has always been my thing, right? Been doing radio shows since college. I
Uh-huh.
did a couple podcasts after the pandemic, but you know what? I had a moment. This is my first show by myself.
Really?
And I mean, I've been dibbling and dabbling. It's the first time that I decided, let me bring my discussions to the table, sidebar, because for those who know me, I have tons of sidebars.
Mm-hmm.
But but we want to talk about it from a high level perspective. So
Mm-hmm.
I know we're running a little bit behind schedule. The goal of this show
It
is
happens.
to be 30 minutes long because I need to drop for Market
Mm-hmm.
Mondays on
Yep, yep.
YouTube tonight. We're Earn Your Leisure. So I want to make sure I bring a recap of all the things that's happening, state of the culture, money, music, entertainment, media, and whatever other little sideboards I can think of, right? And the goal is
Mm-hmm.
to make sure I keep it short, sweet, scoopy, respectful of your time, and
Mm-hmm.
that's pretty much it. So before we dive in, though, tell me a little bit, Mike, because I know what I think about when I say high level. But
Mm-hmm.
I want you to tell me, Mike, what do you think about when we say high level conversations? What are we talking about?
We're talking about things that are of, I would say, importance in people's lives, like today's culture, Black culture, POC culture too. Talking
What's
about ways
POC?
that POC, people of color.
Oh, okay.
People of color, yeah.
Sidebar.
Yeah, sidebar, people of color. So just a whole bunch of important information, intensive conversations that are scaled at a higher level. I would say diving in deeper into details of things. So that's high level to me.
I love it. I love it. When I
Yep.
think about high level, right, I think about a different perspective than maybe it might be beyond, the normal level of thinking, beyond
Yes.
social norms. Sometimes it's just like taking your
Hmm.
point of view somewhere else, bigger and broader, right? Bigger than you, bigger than me sometimes, right? Being able to pivot into different perspectives about things. That's how I think of high level. But to your point, it's also really talk about something that's deeper beyond just the surface level,
Yeah.
right?
Okay. Hmm.
Um, so yeah, but with sidebar conversations every Monday. Make sure you check me out. I am live on Twitch. I'm going to be live on YouTube in 24 hours, according to YouTube. Live on Facebook. Live every Monday. Again, if you just joined in, thanks so much for checking in. We're gonna end this at 8 o'clock because we're gonna hop over to YouTube to listen to Market Mondays. But let's just hop into some of these topics. Now, my
Hmm.
super producer got me halfway super producing. So give me a moment, team.
Hmm.
Let me go ahead and get hey, Miss Sadiqa Love. We got Sadiqa Love checking in on Facebook. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Let me go ahead and share my screen, Mike, so we can get into this
All
conversation.
right. Let's get it.
All right. So let me
All
know
right.
when
There
you
you go.
can see my screen.
Yep. We can see everything right now.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Yeah, and if you are on the check-in, please do drop it in the chat. So I'm gonna say this sidebar right quick, and then I promise we're about to get with it, right? Um,
Hmm.
this is the first show of
Welcome
many
to
to
the stream,
come.
DJ B Street.
Hey, thanks for listening, DJ B Street, IUP alum right there. Big up to
Hmm.
IUP. That's my school.
Yep.
So real quick, I do want to say this is the first of many, right? So we're gonna manifest this, right? Like it is
Hmm.
my goal. It doesn't matter like who's watching or how many people's watching, but I definitely like want to talk about things that are important to the culture, important to our community.
Yeah.
And if anything that we talk about tonight can reach one person, I'm super super duper excited. So if it's for you, definitely tune in every Monday, lock in, but share,
Sorry.
like,
Sorry.
share, subscribe,
Hmm.
because if it's not for you, you never know who else is for. So I really appreciate the love. All right, let's hop in.
Of course. Of course.
So First things first, I want you to go ahead. If you're on my Facebook, click my link tree. The newsletter is available through the link tree. I did create a newsletter for everybody. You'll get that every single week during the show. The topics of tonight, high level. We're talking about the financial revolution, which is here. If you ain't already know, now you know. EYL is making big moves, okay? And we're going to talk a little bit about that later on in the show. You see, I'm repping my assets over liability shirt tonight, and I'm going to hop off at 8 o'clock to catch Market Mondays, all right? But we're going to talk about EYL in a second. First up in the conversation, however, is Mr. Morale or Mr. Too Much.
Ooh.
Everybody out here is talking about this new Kendrick Lamar album. So I want to weigh in. I know, Mike, I know you have a
Hey,
lot.
Miss Barbara, how you doing? I'm live. Gotta get them. They look, give people's right there. We gotta get them on. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Hey, Miss Barbara. So, Mike, I know you have some things to talk about with
Yeah.
Mr. Morale,
Mhm.
and the big steppers, and we're going to close it out with some author notes as well as a few quick topics. Yuki and Big B. Do you know who that is? You're going to find out a little bit
Mhm.
later, as well as some Juneteenth hot topics as well.
All right.
So let's go ahead and get into the first topic of the conversation.
Okay.
We talk about Kendrick Lamar's new album. I know a lot of folks are listening. Social media is going crazy about it. On May 13th, Kendrick dropped his fifth studio album. As I mentioned, everybody is talking about it. A couple of tracks that I'll call out right now: N95, one of my favorites.
Mhm.
I want to even say, I can't even think. Look, I don't want to read all this while we on a call, but I'll get it to in a second. But I'm gonna actually hop into the into the top paragraphs rather than reading the whole entire article because I want you to check it out on Linktree. But we're gonna get to an evaluation of the album, and I want you to tell me what you think, Mike. So,
Mhm.
as I mentioned, on May 13th, it dropped. Something that I remembered listening to this album. One of my favorite scenes from the movie The Photograph is when Michael and May, played by Lakeith Stanfield, Phil, and Issa Rae, chatted jokingly about the differences between Kanye, Drake, and Kendrick. I remember
Mhm.
Michael said, Kendrick is my dude. And then May, if you remember, replied, he makes me feel guilty. Not everyone can be the change in the world that you want to see. It's too ambitious. And
Mhm.
when I think about that line from that movie, that's exactly what I'm hearing from the audience, right? It's
Right.
too much. I don't feel like rewinding, right? On the other hand, you got folks like me and you, Mike, who's like, yo, this album is so dope.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll sum it up to say Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers is a mirror into the mind.
Mhm.
Heavy is the head that wears the crown, Kendrick says. The
Yeah.
masterpiece for me is smothered in symbolism, okay? And to the intellects that live for thought provoking lyrics and artistic imageries, I mean, to be honest, I just feel like you definitely got fed your daily bread. All right. So definitely check out the article in this newsletter to read more about my review on Kendrick Lamar. Mike, tap
Yes.
in. What are your thoughts on this album?
So when I originally first listened to it, with me knowing that I like deeper stuff, I there was no way I was coming into this album thinking, what is he going to do wrong? All I wanted to hear was, what is he about to say? Because 5 years out of the game, not even out of the game, 5 years taking time because he said it
Right.
in there that I'm taking time to take a step back. You know, what I mean, I'm if I'm taking that step back, then it's it's me observing now. Think about how much time he had between what was the last album? Damn, I think it was called.
I got to be
Damn,
honest. I don't even
yeah.
know. I'm on
So
the
the
bandwagon with this
right,
album.
right,
I'm on
because
the
it's been 5 years.
bandwagon.
Think about everything that's just happened in 5 years. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like the change in culture, new presidents,
Right.
um, George Floyd,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
people getting killed. I think Sandra Bland is in that time frame too.
mm-hmm,
There's a lot that's been happening with people, a lot of
mm-hmm.
realizations. The world has changed as far as his opinion on life itself when it comes to people that are, of different ethnicities, different races, rather your choices in if you are a straight or gay male, transgender, the way comedians has been attacked, the way rappers have been attacked, the way
Right.
everyone is basically out here doing their thing. Good job, good job. The rated, all this stuff has happened in this amount of time. So why wouldn't he be a guy to sit back and think about all the stuff that he needs to talk about now?
Right.
Realizing in one song, Auntie Diaries, realizing what he did as a child and what he viewed as a child. His vision behind it was, I already knew, that my aunt was gay. It was them that didn't know, and they hated him
Hmm.
for it.
See,
Like,
I got a perspective from it, like everything that we're judging,
mhm,
everything that we're having difficulty in dealing with, the traumas that we're experiencing. I know he's telling his story from the perspective of a black male, right? But
mhm,
I also look at it from the perspective of a black female. And whether you're any shade, to be honest, male or female, I think we all can take from it.
mhm.
Everyone goes through trauma, and everyone is in a point of reflection a lot of times where either you're being judged or someone is judging you or you're
Exactly.
judging somebody. And I really think like he is explaining, like from the symbolism in the cover art, you know, he wears the crown, right? We are
Mhm.
all, I feel like, kings and queens in the making, and we have history, right? But sometimes we really got to sit back, reflect, and deal with the person that we are in the mirror, right? I don't mean to sound cliche, but
No,
like a
you're
lot
good.
of it is like, how are we dealing with ourselves in order to accept others, love others, right? And then walk in our purpose.
Hmm.
The one line I'm gonna call out is, the world is in panic, the women are stranded, and the men are on the run. That's from N95, one of my favorite songs. If y'all have not played that song, please go check it out.
It's a good
Also,
song.
check out We Cry Together. I was talking to a brother who was a fan of the album as well. And I was like, man, We Cry Together is a great track. And the gentleman said, nah, that was too much. I had to press play. Um, I remember going back listening to a song from Talib Kweli. I can't think of the track right now, but it was reminiscent of everything that he's saying. And we cried together. And it's a shame that this many years later, we're still having this problem. Don't fast forward through we cried together. It's a lot. It's aggressive, right? It's
Hmm.
vulgar.
Yeah.
And it might feel like too much.
Hmm.
But we cried together, from my perspective, at the end of it, it was love.
Yes.
There was this
Yes.
chaotic fight between these two lovers, and at the end of it, it was still love. So I think we should really stop and pause in that song and look at it from an artistic perspective to see, what's really going on in these relationships between men and women, that we're not
Hmm.
stopping to understand first before we
Hmm.
just say, you messed up, I messed up, forget it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not gonna spend too much time on that, but we could talk about this album all day.
Yeah, yeah. So I give the album a great review. Basically, if you got a good ear for words, listen to it. If you got a
Yeah.
good ear for music, listen to it. If you like the
Listen.
combination of both,
Yes.
you're gonna be happy. That's how I
Yes,
look at
it's
it.
it's art. It's art.
Hmm.
Something that I wrote here in the article. Hopefully, you guys check it out. Take a look at the link tree. Read the newsletter. It's therapy and music, but it
Okay.
really is art, right? It
Hmm.
like I appreciate art, so that's why I can appreciate this album. I don't think he's a
Yeah.
rapper. He is an
Hmm.
artist. Now, what does Sadiqa Love say?
She's saying we cry together, in my opinion, is to make people think. Think about how to react to it. Liking it or not, liking it feels is not the main concern.
Sir. Oh, I love it. Sadiqa's my new favorite friend. All right, we go because it's not easy listening. Listen, we're gonna have to revisit Kendrick. Any
Yes,
other
yes.
songs that you love from the album before we move on to the next?
I'm a beat person, so I liked um, Mr. Morale and of course because
Mr.
Pharrell
Morale
Williams,
was good.
Pharrell
Winning,
Williams,
winning.
and I think it's Survivor. Here we go.
Okay. All
Savior,
right.
Savior. He's not your
Savior.
savior. Yes,
Oh, he's not your savior.
yeah, he's not
It's
your
so
savior.
many of them.
It's all good, baby girl. It's all good.
I'm just really tapping into volume 2, to be honest. But I feel like you go from the trauma, then you hit the breakthrough. That's the moral
Hmm.
of the story. It's the
Yep, yep,
breakthrough. So we're gonna keep it moving. Thumbs up over here. Let's
yep.
talk about the next topic so we can move through this quickly, y'all, because we respect your time. Shout out to everybody tapped in, Facebook
Yes.
Live, Twitch. Please like, share. Get the algorithms up, as
Follow on
people
Twitch.
say.
Follow her on Twitch. Let's get this followed up. Let's get it out. Follow her on Twitch.
Yes. It's your
Follow her
girl
on Twitch.
Crystal D. I love walks on the beach, you know what I'm saying? Fresh flowers and sunbathing. Anyway, let's talk about it. All right, next up, EYL co-founders are a hot topic, and for good reason. Listen, let's tap in right quick. You see, I have on my assets over liabilities, right?
Mm-hmm.
Call me Joe Smo, because I'm not gonna lie, I'm down for the cause. These brothers are changing the game when it comes to educating the community, the culture around financial literacy. On 520, the co-founders of Earn Your Leisure, EYL University, were featured in Forbes. Kareem Carter writes that Rashad Bilal and Troy Millings have become cultural kings of financial literacy. This powerhouse may be new to Forbes, but they have been making waves in the podcast community since 2019. If you don't know Troy and Rashad or EYL, listen, y'all, it's time to catch up. So Rashad and Bilal, the story there. Rashad was a financial advisor. Troy Millins, an educator. Two friends got together to sum it up and collaborated to launch EYL University. It is a video-based platform where you can educate yourselves about all things from credit, the homebuyer's blueprint. You can educate yourself around stocks, crypto. I mean, the list goes on. Not only do they stand out for me as a hot topic because it's Black and brown people educating other Black and brown people around these topics that are important for the culture. Man, their Rolodex of guests and persons who they interview is really impressive. Folks from all lines of business, all industries, celebrities, and just some folks that are just really good at what they do when it comes to these topics. Wall Street Trapper is a frequent guest on Earn Your Leisure. His tagline is known to be, you ready for this?
Go ahead.
Wall Street looks like us now. So you can only imagine
I like that.
You can only imagine what the trapper is into. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's definitely into investments. I took his trapper not his trapper course, but I took one of his courses, and very smart guy. Listen, if you know about investing, or if you don't know about investing, if you're an expert investor, definitely take a link. Click the link in my bio, whether you're on Twitch or on Facebook. My link tree, the newsletter, does have a link to Earn Your Leisure University. Follow these cats on Instagram, Earn Your Leisure as well, and get up on it. They're spitting some real game that's relevant to take our community from a place of there's a wide gap, right, when it comes to wealth within the Black community. Okay, disparities that we all know about. One thing that Rashad talks a lot about is the financial revolution is here. And it's one thing to talk about it, but how can we be about it? And educating ourselves around the financial literacy is definitely the way to go. So tap in if you're not. What are your views right quick? We might go about 5 minutes over. Hopefully that's okay for the team. What are your views right quick on investing, financial literacy, especially when it comes to our culture? Producer Mike Hennessy, talk about it.
Okay, so with my partner in life, finances is a big thing. She's a big time investor. She takes, she's teaching me a lot of things that I didn't know too much about investments in a way, like where to put it, how to do this, how to move it around, little small ways you could do stuff in a certain amount of time. She's taught me quite a few different things. So it's like I'm still in the process of learning that. But as far as my own personal self, just try to put stuff to the side. I think I've invested maybe twice in my life, and I was doing it through Cash App. I was investing a little bit through there and messing around with that. But I was realizing that I was losing a lot. And it was probably my fault because I didn't understand it. I just considered investing into certain things. But the biggest mistake that I did make was actually taking it out. From what I was told was, if you put it in, leave it there.
Well, we're no financial advisors here, so I won't go too deep into it, but definitely if you're interested, seek out a financial advisor. Tap into Market Mondays. It starts at 8 o'clock on YouTube tonight, so we're going to be dropping shortly to go to Market Mondays, but I do recommend tapping in. And it's not just about stocks, right, and crypto. It's a lot of us in the community that don't own homes, right? How much money are you losing, or how much much more could we have to invest in our family, in our own lives?
We're gonna pull
right?
that comment back up too.
How can we create generational wealth, right? If the majority of our community is renting. So they talk about like buying your first home strategies. I mean, how to start new age businesses. Long story short, love it. Invest Fest is August 5th through August 7th. Your girl Crystle D will be in the building. It's in ATL, and it is the first investment festival of its kind. Like, I've never seen anything like it. I went last summer in ATL, late August, and InvestFest. It was an auditorium filled, hundreds of Black and brown people running to the stage to get educated about financial literacy. I was turned out. I'm still turned out. I'm turned up. I'll be at InvestFest this summer. Catch a girl there. We're probably going to do a live from InvestFest. So keep watching, and we're gonna hop into the next topic. Okay,
we got about 8 minutes, but I want to show this next comment right here. This is from Sadiqa. I want you to check that one out.
So Sadiqa Love says from Facebook, investing in trading, grow what you know, and learn how to bet on those people's emotions. Okay. Okay. I like it. So because I'm respectful of your time and I want to end at a decent hour, and I gotta go learn. I have a Market Mondays. I'm gonna hop in on YouTube. If you're on YouTube, check out Market Mondays.
6 minutes, y'all.
It's an hour-long show, so definitely check it out. Listen, let's tap into another high level. Who ready to talk about this? Ukraine. Why should we care?
Give it to them quick so they can learn.
Drop it in the comments. Tell me, should we care what's happening with Ukraine, right? I saw a couple like social media posts where it's like, why are we donating money?
Love it, Miss Barbara. Love it.
Happening at home. Why do we care? Let me take a look at Miss Barbara. We didn't have these conversations in our home or our church. Miss Barbara from Facebook says, I am changing that with my daughters and my granddaughter. And I believe she's talking about I believe she's talking about the investment strategies and all that kind of stuff.
Yes.
Shout out. So Ukraine, why should we care? So I brought this up because I heard some disturbing or saw some things, and I'm starting to think like, okay, yeah, things are happening at home, but I'm sure there's some reason why, why we should care. I'm not going to hate on what's happening on these people because of what's happening at home. So I did a little research. Super producer Mike Hennessy, right?
Yes, I'm listening.
So let's check it out. I'm gonna read a little bit to y'all. Big Bang P and UP. If you don't know who they are, we about to find out.
All right, going full screen.
Big Bang P and UP aren't getting along, and most of you are asking, why do we care? According to the U.S. Department of State, on March 15th, Pres B signed the agreement to provide $13.6 billion in assistance to help defend UK against Big Bang P. Since 2014, we have committed to getting billions in aid. The streets are talking and wondering, why do we care? This is a wavering question. This is a question that's been happening in the community, and to understand the unwavering support of UK doesn't necessarily mean we don't care about our community. But tapping on a high level, we have to know and understand what's happening when it comes to exports and imports, okay? Political economics on a global scale affects little people like you and me. You pulling up, getting gas in your tank and wondering why the gas so high? Think about it for a second, right? Even though we import only a single-digit percentage of oil from Big UK, so it doesn't seem like it's having a mass effect. It still is. One important thing that I also want to call out is in 2019, of the 1.3 billion imports from UK, the top resources that we received was 59% of base metals, 12% of agriculture, and 9.5% of mechanical appliances. So all I'm going to say here is, the next time you're wondering why or assuming a national or global crisis doesn't affect us on the home front, think again.
Yes, it
and
does.
Maybe do a little bit of digging. Real quick, Mike Hennessy, what are your thoughts there about what's going on?
It makes sense. Let me be honest. Like, it all makes sense. We that's just assets that we get in this world. This is why we're donating money to them. and it is what it is with that one. But 1.3 billion that can go in the bank on our sides. Like we can use that
Well,
too. So
I'm not a I'm not a what is it economist, right? What's the word I'm
hmm
looking for? I don't specialize in the economy, right? So I'm not going to sit
hmm
here and act like I know it all. But I see the streets talking, and we can talk all day about that, but sometimes it is a bigger thing, right? That we might not understand. Yes, 1.3 billion could come here, but I don't really understand how that money gets dispersed and when, why, or how. But all I know is we sometimes do have to look at the bigger scale before we say things like someone doesn't deserve this and who cares about that. I think the
hmm
more that we start to think about those things, the better our life might end up, rather than assuming that it doesn't matter. And that's really what I want to drive home there. Let's
right.
hop on into the next topic so we can wrap up sidebar conversation. Shout out, it's our first show, y'all. Celebrate and do the Dougie.
hmm
Do the
Yep.
Dougie. Let me see y'all do the Dougie.
I
All
was
right.
bad, but
So Juneteenth makes it to the mainstream. Are y'all ready for this one?
mm-mm-mm-mm.
In case you missed it, Walmart announced its Juneteenth branded ice cream. And then social media went into like an outrage, okay? And the court of public opinion said, take it down.
Mhm,
Real quick,
mhm.
what is Juneteenth? Let's go to peeps, okay?
Go
Although
for it, Chris.
President Lincoln Although President Lincoln signed the Emancipation Proclamation in September of 1862, it wasn't until June 19th, 1965 that word got out. The slaves are free. Now, Juneteenth commemorates the emancipation of enslaved African Americans and is also preserved by the people to celebrate Black culture, right? So, with that said, the irony of this Walmart story is last week, social media posts flooded after seeing and hearing about um, the Walmart Juneteenth branded ice cream. The irony for me is actually before I tap in, let's read what the label said, y'all. The label read, "Share and celebrate African American culture, emancipation, and enduring hope." Wow. The great value Walmart brand. Now, listen, I'm a very understanding girl.
Oh
That's
shit.
one thing about Crystal D. I'm very understanding, and I get it, right? I didn't get this. I think it was super insensitive. I think it was tacky. And as a woman who works in communications, has spent some time in public relations, and I work for a company that I believe is very well versed in diversity and inclusion. Someone needs to get Walmart a diversity and inclusion team, because this was tacky and it was like so it was amateur, and I feel like for a company of that magnitude they should know better than this. Am I tripping? What do you think, Mike Hennessy?
No, I'm gonna make it real quick. You're not tripping because they should have known what they were doing. I'm glad you pulled the words out of my mouth. I ain't had to say it myself. Where's the team of diversity at that understands the culture? We're not gonna. But then on top of that, listen, we all know some black people go like right along with it. We're not going to pass it on everybody. That's why you need more. You need more. So somebody can be like, no, that's
Well,
not smart.
I mean, and and what makes it even worse, right, is
Mhm.
let's put this into context, right? The purpose of Juneteenth is because of the Juneteenth is only relevant because it took 2 years
Mhm.
for Black people to be free, right? It took, was that 2 years? I don't know. I might be off. It took some time, right,
Oh
for the
no, that wasn't
message.
2 years. That was over 100 years.
No, I mean from the time that the
Lincoln signed the
actual
thing.
from the time that Lincoln signed it
Yeah, the date
to
says
no no
1862. That was 1965. That was over 100 years.
oh no okay no I got my times wrong. I gotta fix
Uh
that
huh.
article, y'all.
Oh, you're
Typo.
good.
That's a typo. Anyway,
Oh,
so
okay.
look,
Okay.
things happen in media.
Uh
Okay,
huh.
let me go ahead and get that autocorrect going. But with that said, I just want to say, like, for the years that it took for us to be emancipated, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's a different culture making money off the backs of Black people, right? And I think it's really relevant in this conversation to understand why this was so important. Walmart is owned, or at least the majority of the stock is owned by the Walton family, right? From my knowledge, I don't think there's anybody Black in that family. And I'm not one to be that picky, but for you to go market something in that store, deliberately to make money off of it around Juneteenth, it was bad. It was bad choice.
Yeah.
Very, very bad choice. But
Yeah.
moving on, the ending of that story is Walmart has issued a public apology. So go check it out when you get a chance. And last I heard, it has been removed from the store. So we know what your thoughts are, Mike. We know what my thoughts are. We're going to wrap this conversation up with Sadiqa Love's statement. Sadiqa Love says the sad thing is that senior vice president of Walmart's deli is a black man. Well, thanks for calling that out. Thanks for calling that out. But
I got the last one for you.
But before you jump into that, I do want to say, when it comes to business, there's a team somewhere in the corporate office, right?
Yes.
In the corporate office that is handling things like this, marketing and PR. I mean, I can't speak for Walmart, but there's a team beyond the deli man that should have thought better about this. So go ahead, you text Miss Barbara.
All right, Miss Barbara, we're gonna finish it out. We got to do, the comments is coming up. We got to hurry up. She got to make it to her Market Monday. I don't understand why people are so surprised. As soon as they made it a national holiday, I was waiting. Look at Kwanzaa. Hallmark is selling cars, and nobody said a thing.
I appreciate that. Yeah. I don't think we're surprised, Miss Barbara, but because I wasn't, I do appreciate what the court of public opinion has done. So you see something, you say something. When I tell you, they were quick on it. It was like quick, and as quick as they came, it was taken down. So I appreciate that comment. I don't think we're surprised though. I'm super excited that we spoke up and something was done about that.
Diversity, equality.
So Sadiqa said, "I'm the deli man."
Yes, she did.
So before we close out, I want to talk to you about my author's note because this is very important. And if you're going to follow me over to YouTube, Earn Your Leisure on YouTube, Market Mondays, y'all. We talking assets over liabilities. After you leave me, please stay for my final note. And I didn't put my book up, y'all. I don't know where the book is at. All right, anyway. So, author's note. Get motivated to start and maintain inspiration to finish. That is a direct quote from Crystle D. Right now, I'm reading the book Finish by John Acuff. John Acuff talks about he was inspired to write the book Finish after writing the book Start, I think. I need to figure out what the other book was, right? I didn't read his first one, but I'm reading Finish. And he said as he wrote the first book that encouraged folks to start, he realized a lot of the inspiration is needed in encouraging people to finish. This book is a phenomenal book. I recommend anybody who has goals, is working on atomic habits, is working on just being their best self, pick up the book, Finish by John Acuff. A quote that I want to share with you is, the harder you try to be perfect, the less likely you are to accomplish your goals. Tap in, Mike. Bring me up to the big screen. I want to say that again to the people listening. The harder you try to be perfect, the less likely you are to accomplish your goals. I am a woman who has struggled with wanting to have perfection in her life, and it has gotten me nowhere. And then you don't even end up perfect. So with that said, if you have a goal, if you have a dream, if you have a desire, start and stay motivated even after that euphoric feeling of creating the goal and imagining the goal. The most important time is once that euphoric feeling is gone, how do you keep going to finish? Again, the harder you try to be perfect, the less likely you are to accomplish your goals. If you ate too much on your diet today, don't give up tomorrow. If you skip the workout today, don't skip the workout tomorrow. If you want to start a new hobby or a new job, do it. Get going. This is your girl, Crystle D. Thanks so much for listening to Sidebar Conversations. We got my super producer, Mike Hennessy, over here. Listen, if you can drop the ticker at the bottom, we're going to drop here and we're going to go listen to Market Mondays, brought to you by Earn Your Leisure on YouTube. Please catch me every Monday, 7:30, Sidebar Conversations, high level only. And we're out. Thanks for watching.
Thank y'all for watching.